we are all experiencing the same thing right now. College life is so stressful, and let me break it down for you. We have an exam on Saturday morning and on Monday afternoon. We have this major college event tonight. Tomorrow night, we have a friends debut to go to. There's your spoon and fork project, your 15,000 word paper due, and even the PE Modern Jazz people have these practical exams on Wednesday. To top it all off, your Sunday, which is supposed to be your rest day from the stressful week, is blocked by a whole day NatSci field trip. So how does one manage? Well, I am here to tell you about what I have read and learned from a certain book entitled The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens by Sean Covey. It features 7 habits ranging from how to take control of your life to improving your relationship with other people. But for this short speech, I will be focusing only on 2 habits, habit 3 and habit 7. Stress. So let's start with habit 3. Habit 3 says, put first things first, and I will give you the suitcase example. Have you ever tried packing a suitcase and noticed how much more clothes you can fit in if you folded them properly rather than just shoving them in? Well, the same goes with your life. The more you plan and the more you organize, the more you can pack in. I would also like to note the difference between important and urgent. Important things are your firsts, your priorities, those that contribute to your main goal. Urgent things, on the other hand, are those pressing activities, those in your face at the moment that require your immediate attention. So importance and urgency make up what are called the time quadrants. Every day, a person divides his time among these 4 time quadrants, although the best quadrant to be in is quadrant number 2. But I will discuss everything. So, quadrant number 1 is the procrastinator. It is composed of activities that are both important and urgent. In reality, each of us spends time in quadrant number 1 because there are just some things out of our control, such as an incident or an urgent meeting. But spending too much time on quadrant 1 could give you stress, anxiety, and poor performance. Particularly if you are in this quadrant because you ignored something that you could have done earlier, such as preparing for an exam or probably buying a birthday gift for your friend. So, next is quadrant number 3. I'll skip quadrant number 2. Quadrant number 3 is the yes man, attending to things that are not important but urgent. That person might want to please other people too much, or that person might be afraid to say no to peer pressure. For example, you promised yourself that you will be studying tonight, but then your friend comes over and asks you to play Dota with them. So you, not having the courage to say no, agreed to play with them. In reality, each of us have a certain part of Q3, although you should avoid that because it may make you end up feeling like a doormat for other people to wipe their feet on. Next is quadrant number 4. Quadrant number 4 is the quadrant of waste and excess. Too much TV, too much sleep, too much video games, too much surfing the net. As you all know, too much of anything, even the good stuff, is bad for you. So, what do? The best thing to do is to shrink Q1 by planning and doing important things while they are not yet urgent. You have to learn to say no to Q3 activities with a smile, and you have to enjoy a little but not overindulge yourself with Q4 activities. Now, quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 is the place that you want to be. It is by no means implying perfection. It just states that you've got everything under control. So what would a Q2 person do? A Q2 person would list down all the things he or she has to do and do first things first and last things last. For example, you finish your paper early and study for your exams in advance. So, you avoid the stress and burnout that quadrant 1 brings. Next, because you did these things earlier, you have time for rest and for exercise if it's something important for you. And when your friends come over asking you to play with them or probably watch JJ movies with them, you have time to spare. So, Q3 problem solved. And finally, don't think of a Q2 person as someone who isolates himself or herself. A Q2 person also enjoys movies, enjoys reading novels, enjoys watching TV, but doesn't let these activities go too far. So, Q4 problem solved. It's all about balance. It would also be useful to have a planner planner where you could list down your biggest rocks for the week. Your biggest rocks could be composed of important things for you, such as a friend's birthday, a concert you have to go to, family dinner, an exam, or even exercise if it's a big rock for you. And then afterwards, your pebbles and sand and everything else will fall into place in the jar that is your entire time. You may have to rearrange and modify this plan as the week progresses, but at least you have an idea of what to expect. Also, you may not be able to accomplish everything that you planned, but just think that it's still more than you could have accomplished without planning. Because remember, one of the few things that can never be recycled is wasted time. The second part to planning is having the guts and the discipline to follow your plan. It involves having the courage to say no to peer pressure, being strong in the hardest of times and in the hellest of weeks. Actually, if you want to get started in habit 3 right now, you could start off by listing your top or your biggest time wasters, so as an attempt to reduce your Q4. Also, you could try listing down your 10 biggest rocks for next week, and then setting up a specific time to prepare for them. Okay. So this is the sand and rock pebbles example, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. The next habit says, always take time to renew yourself. A good example of this would be a person so focused and so busy driving that he or she forgets to refill with gas. Another example may be a person so busy sawing or cutting down a tree when he could have shortened that time only if he took a break and sharpened his saw. So that's what habit 7 is telling us. Take time to sharpen your saw and take time to renew yourself in 4 areas of your life: your body, your mind, your heart, and your soul. Caring for your body, I'm sure you know all of that. It just means eating right, not forgetting to exercise, not smoking, not doing drugs. But sometimes we just forget doing those things when sometimes we're so busy studying or we're busy doing other stuff. We skip meals. Some other people do that. And then caring for your mind involves strengthening your mind by reading, by trying out new things and expanding your horizon. Caring for your heart involves nourishing your friendships, keeping your promises to other people, learning to say you're sorry, learning to listen, and doing random acts of kindness for your friends and other people. And caring for your soul involves taking a walk by yourself sometimes in order to reflect. It could also involve praying to God, listening to your favorite music, or even just doing your hobbies. I would also like to quote Ferdy when he once said, "I will write about this," because it is true that sometimes writing is a form of release and a form of caring for your soul. I chose habit 3 and habit 7 to share with you guys because I feel that while we are so focused and driven towards our goal, we should never forget to take care of ourselves. So ladies and gentlemen, I know we still have hundreds of stressful weeks for the rest of our stay in UP, and probably even beyond that. But I hope that with these 2 habits and with each other, we would be able to go through all these together. So don't forget, keep calm and practice the 7 habits. Thank you.